we're still cooking the alphabet, so we've come up with some more letters for you to learn about. Today's letters are PDQ. Did your mom ever say that to you? My mom did. She wanted it done pretty darn quick. So I have a couple PDQ recipes for you that actually would take no time at all, and they're low in points. They're really good for you, and it's fun because you can change them up a little bit to suit whatever you like. So the first one is a little dessert that I like to make, and it's awesome. It is so good, and I want to thank my friend Becky for reminding me of it. Sometimes you forget some of the things you used to make. She reminded me the other day about this really easy to make dessert. What you need are some frozen fruit. Now, I love these frozen cherries, and I looked at the ingredients. The ingredients are cherries. That is it, so that means there's 0 points. So the first thing you're going to do is take some frozen cherries. Now, you might want to use pineapple, or you might find mango, something else. But 1 serving is a cup. So I don't even use a whole cup. I'm just going to put maybe half a cup or so of the frozen cherries right on a dish. Just sprinkle them on. This is something that you can just have on hand all the time. So there we go. There's the frozen cherries right on a dish. That's the first layer. Second layer. I have some Weight Watcher yogurt here, and it happens to be the black cherry. It's 2 points, but again, I'm not using the whole thing. So I'm going to take some black cherry yogurt. I'm just going to take a few tablespoons, and I'm putting it right over the frozen cherries. I'm just going to use half of a container, which would be 1 point. So far, this whole concoction is only 1 point. And it's probably been, what, 30 seconds or so? All right. So we have the yogurt piled right on top of the cherries. Now, what I like to usually do with this, I'll do this. I'll set it off to the side and let it sit for a few minutes, maybe while I'm getting the rest of my lunch ready. I'll have some cucumbers and tomatoes with balsamic vinegar. I might have some light turkey breasts and cheese rolled up with some mustard. I'll get that all ready. And while that's getting ready, guess what's happening? The yogurt is actually freezing on top of the cherries. It makes it almost like an ice cream. It is so good. So if you leave it set, now I'm not going to let it set as long as you should, 5 or 10 minutes while you're having the rest of your lunch or dinner. This can be setting out, and it's freezing right on top of the cherries. Now you could eat it just like this, which would be 1 point. That's a lot of food. Now remember, I like to remind my members and my friends too that your stomach is about the size of your fist. That's not very big. How much food can you fit in there? Not a whole lot. So I think sometimes we have a tendency to overeat because we're hungry here and not here. So this is going to be very filling. So after this is frozen on top, what can we do? What else can you do? I'll tell you what I like to do. You can add banana. You can add, look at the strawberries that are on now. Look at these strawberries. Aren't they awesome? Again, 0. So I'm going to take a few strawberries and sprinkle on top. And I had some pineapple left over from another recipe. I'm going to take some crushed pineapple in its own juice and put it up on top. Now look, it's beginning to look like a sundae, isn't it? Oh, not quite. Look what else we can put on top. This is sugar-free syrup. A squirt of this, 0. Still a little bit of 0 points here, so I'm going to squirt a little bit of that on top. And topping on the cake, so to speak, ready with it. You don't have to be afraid to have some sweetness in some desserts in your life. It doesn't mean you have to give up everything. If you read the back of this, it is 5 calories for 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons, 5 calories? I could have, well, a whole bunch. So I'm going to squirt a couple tablespoons on top. I'm going to take some of my strawberries and put on top. And look at that dessert. 1 point. A 1 point dessert that is delicious. If you want to add a little bit to it, you could probably sprinkle some maybe granola on top or break up a cookie or so. But now if you take a bite, take a frozen cherry. The yogurt, the chocolate, the whipped cream, cold. It's delicious. It's like having an ice cream sundae. And where could you have an ice cream sundae for 1 point? Besides, the cherries are so cold that it takes you a while to eat them. So this dessert might last you a while. So I'm going to let this sit over here for a few minutes and let it freeze a little more, and I'm going to have my dessert. Again, 1 point. Can you believe it? Now my other recipe is from a friend of mine. Thanks, Joy. Joy brought this recipe to a meeting of mine the other day, and I couldn't believe how good it was. So I had to come home and try it right away. I love ingredients that have recipes that have 2 ingredients. 2, 1, 2. That's it. Jiffy Mix. 2 boxes of Jiffy Mix mixed with 1 can of pineapple in unsweetened juice, in its own juice, no sweetener added. So what do we have to count here? We have to count these points. We don't have to count this. So you put it in a bowl, 2 to 1, mix it up. What are we going to have? Cornbread. This is one of those cornbread mixes. These are, I think, 89 cents for these. I mixed it up, put it in one of my dishes. Look at this. Delicious cornbread. Now, I haven't even cut it yet. I was waiting to do the honors when you were here. So I'm going to take my knife. And I figured this out to be, if you cut it into 12, it's 3 points. You can make them smaller. You can make them a little bigger. But you do remember have to go by the serving. So you can use your calculator and figure out exactly what they are. But I'm going to cut this into 12. We're going to cut right down 1. Actually, I think it might be, I can get 12 out of here. Actually, I might even get 16 the way it looks. I'm going to turn it, cut it again. Wow, and these are nice size. I love cornbread, especially with chili or just for a little snack. Now I'm going to take my spatula. I'm going to try to dig it out. Like I said, oh wow, look at this. Look at that. Nice big piece. Nice and moist. Again, don't you just love it when you have, if you have these on hand in your refrigerator or in your cupboard, this and this, you can whip up. Honestly, it took me maybe 1 minute to stir it up, and it was 400 degrees for 20 minutes is how I cooked it. Now again, if you put it in a bigger pan, it could very well be thinner and it wouldn't be as many points, but I have to give it a try. You're going to want to make this. You know, this might even be good sprinkled on top of our dessert. 1 point. 3 points. I think it will. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on top of there. Wow. Can't wait to dig into that. So those are my PDQ. Do you see how quickly I did those? No time at all. You're going to have 2 different desserts. Again, watching your weight. It doesn't have to be drudgery. It doesn't have to be, pickles and cucumbers and water. You can have healthy things. You can have delicious food. Remember, if you're watching your weight, it's probably going to be a lifetime decision you're making. I know it is for me, that this is something I'll have to do forever. But it's fun and it's exciting for me to find new recipes and to try new things and to eat healthy. And that's what I'm wishing you too. Happy, healthy cooking, happy, healthy eating. So until next time, I'll see you later.